Hey, everybody, and welcome to the One Lane Road podcast with Lucas and DK. This is Lucas.
Hey, man, what's going on tonight?
Hey, we're just fresh coming off of our Saturday acoustic day in the park, and man, it was a good time. We did have some audio from it, but unfortunately, we don't know how to record audio with music playing in the background, apparently.
Yep, it's like I said, our first event, so it's a learning experience, more ways than one. And yeah, that was. We thought it sounded great. We were having all this fun interaction with all the musicians.
Had some great talk from musicians in there, man. They were telling us about their set list, the nerves, because it was first time for some of them as well, and first time for any of them in Hermit Springs Park. But unfortunately, when we was playing it back, it just did not record well.
Yeah, we had the magnificent Raines brothers. They were doing the sound check and everything. We were just a little too close to the stage, and the sound from their stuff was kind of drowning out the interviews, and we didn't really realize it at the time. So
it sounded like it was coming through in our headphones good, but boy, whenever we were playing it back, it just did not come out well.
It's all you guys that were looking forward to hearing your interviews, as was I. I've been looking forward to that for a couple of days. We apologize. And
so guess what that means? It means all you guys got to come to my house, and now you get to talk as being a third chair.
And Chris Raines has got to do that because he's done so much for us. And, of course, we bragged on him on stage anyway the other night a bunch. And I've texted him a couple times about doing this, and he just will not.
We might have to go to Chris. We might have to, the Raines brothers, we might have to go just corral the Raines brothers and make them sit down and talk to us wherever they're at.
Brad wouldn't get on the microphone the other day. We hollered for both of them to come over, and Chris came over.
Chris came over and talked to us.
Brad just hung out the pavilion.
Waved us off. He pulled a Jace on us, just waved us off. Yeah. Now, that being said, he doesn't get on the mic on stage either, didn't seem to.
Brad is a man of few words, but it's pretty hilarious when he does speak.
He's a
funny dude.
He's a funny dude, yeah. Let's just run down our list of performers. Travis Humphreys was up first, and boy, did he start that show off fantastically.
He sure did, and that was one of the things that a lot of the guys were doing. We knew a couple guys had to go on late because, couple like Danny Joe couldn't get there, so him and Ryan were automatically going to be later on the bill. Same thing for Lindsey and Barry, and everybody was like, "Can I go second? Can I go third?" I think everybody's nerves were a little bit such that nobody really wanted to get up there first, and I was like, "Hey, Travis, first?"
He said, "Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's just do it." He'd been there. He'd been there at the basketball the whole time we'd been there.
Yeah, he didn't have any rust on him either. I mean, if he was nervous, he sure didn't show it because, he just come out there and broke the ice beautifully. It was just such a good set.
Sure did. He's got a good mixture of southern rock and a little bit of older country.
Yeah, and good voice too. He's got that just old, like you're saying, old country voice. Got a lot of twang when he's singing, which, man, it was a great way to start the show.
And he drove me crazy because he was texting me and Facebook messaging me or whichever one right after the words. He just split out, didn't tell anybody bye or nothing. He just split after.
Well, I wondered what happened to him. I looked around for him, and then
I
just never could find him. I just assumed he made his way over into the crowd, and I didn't see him. But
right, and he was beating up his performance, and I was like, man,
it was so good. I don't know why.
And even Scarlett Gentry told us afterwards that was her favorite performer.
Yeah.
And I just thought that he mixed his stuff up well. He done a couple of his originals, and in all honesty, I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah.
And that's not saying I expect to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying when I saw him in his band or when I knew he was playing, he was a drummer. I've watched his originals on Facebook. I had no idea he's going to come out there and do as well as he did, and I was proud of him.
And he was our first guest that we talked to the other night and had a really good long interview with him. He did a great job on it, and I just wish everybody could hear it. I'm going to be beating myself up the rest of the month for not getting that recorded any better than I did. Kind of missed the moment there, but like we said, it's a learning experience. We'll get it next time.
Well, yeah, and he'll be glad to come on. He's asked us a couple times if he could come on, so me and Travis, we get to ramble about music. He'll come into my work every Wednesday morning and deliver the mats and stuff. That's what he does. And, man, we get on a music rant, and it's 15 minutes into it, and we're, and
still ain't done anything at work.
I got to give him a hard time because he's always beating up on Luke Bryan and stuff, but he did a little bit of a little 30-second medley of a Luke Bryan song at the end of Can't You See the other night.
Yeah.
So
that was good. And then Chris Raines, but the brother Raines went up after that with their right-hand man, Jason Hutchins, playing saxophone.
Yeah, I joke that has to be the first time a saxophone's ever been played in Hermit Springs.
Yeah.
Would you think so?
Well, I know it's the first time there's one ever played at the park in Hermit Springs.
Yeah, I don't think Brad when Brad Copus plays, they certainly don't do a saxophone, do they?
I really doubt it.
I don't think so.
I-
And man, it sounded. And I've never really just been a saxophone. I don't look for music for saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
But God, that was a cool sound when Jason was up there just
It
killing
just
it.
added into it so much, and for them to have not played together or practiced together in 2 years, they were sure on point. Because, I mean, you couldn't tell that wasn't the band that tours right there.
Nothing surprises me,
Oh.
everybody's gonna be thinking, man, you can't suck up enough to Chris Raines. Well, first off, no, I can't suck up
Right.
enough to Chris and
I
Brad
would say,
Raines.
even if it sounds like we are, I don't care. I mean,
It's genuine.
when somebody's done as much for you as they have, then you'd be doing it too. So it's
But in all honesty, it's being genuine that their
Yeah.
music is just that good.
oh yeah, that's true.
And we were giving them a hard time because they were, I mean, along with a couple other ones, with Barry's experience and, well, probably they were. I mean, and
Probably the most stage experience out in front of a lot of people.
definitely the most stage experience. So they're like, we want to go on second. I thought they were ribbing us.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, yeah, okay.
It's not, yeah, that's
But-
that's never going to happen.
Well, they done the sound for us. For you guys that don't know, they done the entire sound. Like we said, they were doing the sound check for us. They done the sound for every musician, and man, they just
Everybody sounded great.
yeah, and that and I would just get aggravated. Like me and Lucas were like, "There's no way we're letting Chris and Brad go on second.
Mm-hmm.
But they were pretty
Adamant about it.
Pretty adamant.
And then their buddy Jason that was playing the saxophone, he got up there and wore it out and then just cut out, man. He had a previous engagements, and so he played the saxophone, had a great time, and then cut out and went home.
Yeah, and Brad on the on the drums. I got a nice video I put on our Snapchat. I should have advertised that for anybody that was on Snapchat friends with me, that I posted videos all night of all the musicians and
Yeah.
ended up linking most of them to our Facebook. I did, and I was mad at myself the next day when I done it because Snapchat, you only have 10 seconds.
Right.
And I really wished if I knew I was going to post it on our social media like that, I would have done actually longer videos, 20, 25, 30-second videos
Yeah.
at least.
That Snapchat's something that's gotten pretty popular. That may be something a very old person says that don't know anything about social media, because somebody asked me to take a picture on their iPhone and used Snapchat to do it, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I never was big into it, but on my last iPhone, when I was running out of memory storage, the only way I could take a picture was if I had Snapchat. You can take it on Snapchat, save it to your gallery. So that's why I really started using it a whole lot. And it's fun with your buddies. I think it was probably designed for another completely
Completely different thing.
as Draymond Green found out this week.
Yeah. By the way, I have completely derailed this conversation. Let's get back to the artist. I don't know what I
don't
did.
want to talk about Draymond
Yeah.
Green's. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Well, basically what it was, he sent a picture of his of a part of his anatomy to a he was supposed to be sending it to a private message of his anatomy to a woman, and he sent it out as his story for every single follower that he's got.
Yeah,
see.
I'm going to go ahead and say that wasn't an accident. He was probably bragging to the world that was that was watching it. But
Anyway, let's
yeah,
don't
anyway,
talk. That's enough to talk about the male
Yeah.
genitalia on this show. Matt Mayberry.
coming up next, there's Matt Mayberry. He did a great job too. I mean, he's,
First time he'd ever played anywhere like this.
that's what I'd heard, and he's got a lot of videos. I went back and looked across his Instagram. There's a lot of videos of him sitting out there playing, just in front of his computer with his guitar there, and got a lot of potential in that kid.
That was, honest to God, the only time I had ever seen him perform.
Yeah.
And what it was, I was talking to those Dotson Branch boys, Derek Woolbright in particular, and Blake Allen, and they were all talking about it. And all those guys are musically inclined, and they said, "Hey, can Matt come play?" And I said, "Man, you guys have been so good to me about plugging our show and whatnot." I said, "Let me check him out." So I watched his Instagram videos, and I was like, "Well, shoot, why not, man?
Yeah.
He's got a good voice."
Yeah.
And I think he was a little nervous to start with, but he worked it out pretty quick and did a heck of a Keith Whitley song, which is a Dawson's Branch staple.
Yeah. You can tell he's a lot more comfortable when he's got a guitar in his hand.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of gives him something to do with his hands. That's the thing I get nervous about up there. What do I do? What do I do with my hands? I pull the Will Ferrell. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Exactly. And that's what we done. We'll talk about it in a second, but the photo shoot, the miniature photo shoot we had, and did we not look awkward, awful in that one? Hey, where we had our arms crossed, it's okay.
Yeah.
The other one, I look like this right here, like I'm just
like you're just shrugging it
I
off.
don't know what to do with my arms.
Yeah.
Your hands, my arms. But I tell you what, another thing about Matt, kind of like a little post after the fundraiser, those boys went and picked some more, and there was no all the nerves were gone. I'll guarantee you from him and his. I asked if they were cousins. James Mayberry, the guy that actually played on stage with him shortly.
They were brothers, weren't they?
No, they don't even spell Mayberry the same way.
Oh, really? I thought I think they might have called themselves brothers, but that may have been more of a buddy brother.
I think that Dotson's Branch is kind of like Union Hill and Pea Ridge. I think they're all related
Somehow.
Somehow or another.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Dotson's Branch, not so much Pea Ridge or Union Hill. But he played, man. That James kid, he was down there, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm gonna play me some Dinosaur, play me Whiskey Bent, play me It Ain't Easy Being Me, and play blah blah blah. And dude, he was just
tearing it up,
one after another, playing the guitar. He's like, I don't think I know that, DK. Then boom, he
did know it.
Yeah, that guy's smart. It's like, yeah, really. But man, those boys were really talented. Then we had Mike DeMeza
come in there,
man.
And his buddy Stevie D playing the cajon was probably the highlight. This maybe not the highlight of the night, but I've got more comments about him slapping the cajon than I have from about anything from that night.
It took some cajones to do that in Herman Springs Park.
Oh man, yeah, it was fantastic.
Well, they didn't know where they were coming to, so I guess they didn't know that. Right.
Well, that was
different.
Well, it was wonderful. The everybody. I don't know. Besides the Raines brothers, I don't know if anybody else knew what that was. In the musicians, obviously,
to me,
I had a lot of people talking about that.
Well, it was just like I said, it was so different. People had not seen it, and with Matt and with Travis, it was kind of that old timey country. Like I said, good stuff. Then when Chris got up there, I was like, okay. I honestly am so confident in the brother Raines that I was kind of like, oh goodness, are we putting these on second? And how hard is it going to be top? And like, where's the bar going to be after number 2?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought Matt did well. And then when Mike got up there, it was kind of like, okay, who's going to top that?
Yeah, we got some singers out here. And to be acoustic like they were just, they didn't have anything to hide behind. Not that Chris was hiding anything. Obviously, he's got a fantastic voice, and I've actually got cleaner audio of him singing than I do of the rest of that other stuff. So I may try to work that into something coming later on. But those guys were just belting it out. They were fantastic.
Yeah, and he and Mike has got some really good original songs. He gave me his 4-track EP CD that day, and I've just been wearing it out the last couple of days. I'm just really talented. I knew he was. I've heard him play, and I've seen his stuff on Facebook and Twitter. But man, I thought he killed it.
Oh, he's awesome.
Absolutely.
And then a friend of the show, my little cousin Wesley, got up there and has made a considerable difference in his abilities since the last time I've heard him sing. Not that he wasn't always good, but boy, he has really stepped his game up on singing lately.
When I look at Wesley, and I hope he hears this because I want him to know it. The confidence that he shows on stage, like he was born to do this. And like you said, his dad has brought him into this lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like he's up there barefooted and he's kicking around like Jake. I was like, hey, he's like, yeah, Jake Owen. Okay, yeah, I know what you're gonna say. And I said, yeah. But for him to be up there just kicking the stage around, just hat backwards,
just having a good time.
Yep,
that's just what he wants to do, and that's what he's good at.
He's very good at it, and he asked us if he could take his shirt off. He was trying to support the One Lane Road podcast for a T-shirt for a while.
He carried around this black shirt for a little while, but it being 95 degrees plus, that shirt was wearing him out.
Yeah, guys, do you mind if I take my shirt off? He said, wear this UT shirt.
I said, no, buddy. You don't have to support us at our own show. You're already here for us. Don't worry about that. And then Lindsey Kenyon and Barry Birdwell got up there on stage later on.
And I had a guy from work that came to the event. He goes, man, you was not kidding about that girl. Because I told him, I said, hey, that's all these guys are coming. I said, you don't be surprised if the one girl that's singing is going to steal the show.
She's got a set of pipes on her and has forever. She started singing, it was run cold chills all over me. Her and one other guy, whenever he was singing, it just run cold chills all over me.
Yep, it's her calling, man. I don't know if married life and whatever happened is definitely she's missed out on a great career. I just really think that's a shame, man. She's just so good, and it didn't come as an accident. Her old man's pretty good hand himself.
I was about to say, can we take just a second and thank Barry for his 47 years worth of musical talent, man? I mean, he was laser sharp on that guitar, laser sharp on all those songs. He played one song and he said, I hadn't played that in several years, and you couldn't tell he wasn't practicing it right before he got down there.
Yeah. Played some old Hank Jr. for me. I like anytime I hear that kind of an old, rare Hank Jr. song, it's kind of cool for me. And he pulled it out and just Barry's just a natural, man. When you sit
So
on that
good.
stool, and I can't brag on him enough. I loved having him down there.
Somebody said, was sitting over there, I asked him if they wanted the stool to take with them up there to play, and he was, he said, you can't sit on a stool and play. I said, look right there, that guy's playing. He said, yeah, but I've not been playing anywhere near as long as he has. Whenever I've been playing for 40 years, maybe I can sit on one too and play. He said, I'm barely remembering the chords.
And that's what I love. That's just when you know you're good at what you do. You have full confidence. That's what you see at a Hank Jr. show. When you go see Hank Jr., he's not up. He don't have anything to prove anymore. He's not running around the stage 100 miles an hour. He's sitting on that stool picking his songs because he knows he has the respect for everyone, and everybody's going to sit there and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry has earned that for most of us that have grown up in our later years, watching Barry and seeing him, just a master at his craft, man.
So good. So good. And then to close out the night, guy you heard last week, Ryan Hammer and his buddy Danny Joe.
Yeah. The reunion tour come full circle there down at the park. I know I was happy for it to have been at our event, that these guys have wasted, I don't say wasted, but missed out on these last 4 years of playing together.
So good. They were even over there practicing way off in the distance before the show, before their time,
Yeah, they went to the basketball court over there, past the basketball court at the park to rehearse. And, did they need it? Probably not, but it made them feel better and made them more comfortable.
And boy, did they do a good job, too. Whenever Ryan sung Soul Shine,
yeah.
Oh, it was awesome, man. I was so glad to have seen them.
Yeah, and Chris and him had already played Soul Shine, but that's just like, it's kind of like when you see in the National Enquirer, not that I look at the National Enquirer, but when you're at the grocery store in a long line and you've got two hot models wearing the same black dress and it says who wore it better.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. They both look damn good doing it.
Yeah.
And that's basically when you got Chris Raines and Ryan Hammer singing Soul Shine, it's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, it sure is.
And they even played my two, like we was talking about on the show last week. They played two of my 5 favorite songs. They did Dinosaur and did 4th of July. And
killed them too.
It's just. I mean, how much do you sit there and brag on these 7 acts that just?
Yeah, and I feel like I should have said more about every one of them, about how appreciative I was and how good they were. But I mean, there's just so much I can convey. I mean, I'm not going to do a good job of conveying my actual thoughts on them just because I'm just not going to do it justice, because it was so good and it's so much better than I have the words for.
Absolutely. I just. We are forever in debt to those people, because I know Travis came from White County, from Sparta. The brother Raines come from Cookville. Mike came from Nashville. Come on, I mean, these guys didn't have to do it. Just like so many guys before them that has give something to this show. For us guys, 3-4 months into this thing, trying to just get our feet off the ground. It's guys like these guys that give their talents to our show that, we're just in debt to these guys that they give so much to us.
When something that I should have done and didn't think about it until so we started at 3.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say around 6:30 or 7, I asked Brad, I said, hey, can y'all record this? Could y'all have recorded this? He said, yeah, I think so. I thought, man, that was a question I should have asked somewhere around 2 o'clock, maybe even 2:30, because wouldn't that have made for a great podcast? Us sitting here having all this stuff and then don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not legally able to give you, Dirks Bentley clips. I say, but I'm pretty positive Mike DeMezza wouldn't have cared if we'd have showed some clips on him.
Some of these originals that these guys played, I'm sure we could have got out there. I'm sure they wouldn't have cared a bit.
Right, and
guess who didn't think of it? Guess who's got 2 thumbs and didn't think of it?
I tell you what I do have is that Mike CD, and we can go to Reverb Nation. You can, if anybody wants to go to Reverb Nation, Mike DeMezza, you can look at his stuff. And let's just give them all plugs. Travis Humphrey has a Facebook page, Travis Humphrey Music. You can always find the Brother Rain's Facebook page, Matt Mayberry on Instagram. You can check out his videos. Mike DeMeza has a Facebook fan page. Wesley
spell DeMeza for him.
Yeah, it's Demeza. Wesley's got pages. Lindsay and Barry do not, and I don't. And I know Ryan and Danny Joe don't have music pages. They used to. I don't. Well, the Facebook page may still be up for Ryan and Danny Joe. It's been several years since I've looked, but there's certain things we'll know going into next time, and several changes we can make, and several
changes we're gonna put in there. My wife took notes, I took notes, Dustin took notes. We're gonna put it together. It was a great time, big learning experience. So glad it happened. It was a little nerve-wracking leading up to it, but it come and it went. And I think ultimately it was a success.
It was a success. There was like there's a learning curve on certain things like this, and I've beat myself up on some stuff. Could have done different ways leading into it, and one thing I didn't. I had full confidence in the 7 acts we're going to be up there. That's something we but like I said, from different aspects, different ways. There's always ways you can look at getting better the next time, and we know now what those are.
Yeah. And we got a lot of nice stuff donated to us. That word I just said was nice. If anybody's wondering what that was, we got a lot of nice stuff donated to us from a lot of people here. JCL Metals, which is Jason Coons and Laura Coons, their medals. They gave us a real nice Tennessee sign.
Well, everybody was bragging on that thing.
Boy, it was nice, wasn't it?
Sure was. And I think a lot of people were upset they didn't win that. There was people dumping some money into that donation thing on the chances. Then you had my buddies over in Cookeville, Highland Hardware and Fastenal. Highland Hardware, Daniel Green and Doug, they give an insulated screwdriver set. And Fastenal, those boys over there, Daniel Sells, Brandon Huddleston, Doug Martin, all those my buddies over there, they give a DeWalt compact worksite radio. There, I know is really handy to have out there on the construction sites or anywhere.
The first guy that got anything walked up there and got that DeWalt radio. And then I sat over there and watched who got that screwdriver set. Probably the one guy in there that was electrician / builder, Michael Davis. Got a real nice screwdriver set there.
Well, I tell you, Nick, it was Nick Maggart that got it. It was Amber Cockrell, my friend Amber's husband, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
He was tickled to death. He was just trying to give out. He said, "I never won anything in my life," and he was. And I said, "Well, you better grab that because if you don't, somebody's going to."
Yeah, and then Amanda Cherry, formerly Amanda Purdue, come up with some unique makeup, YOUNIQUE makeup, and then her mother and father, I'm assuming, is RBS Florist. They gave a real nice candle gift set.
Yeah,
so
boy,
Linda come in there.
And those are valued pretty good.
Oh
too.
yeah, all
so,
that stuff's really big.
So we thank Amanda and her family for that.
Yeah.
That's she was the first one to offer to do that.
Up. Yeah,
and then
that was great of her.
Our friend Stephanie Hart, who's a girlfriend to our friend Brent, she's got her own little small business she just started called Southern Heart, and she does all the what I call the Pinterest life. They do all the signs, and a really nice. It was a blessed sign.
My poor brother got so much crap over that sign. From the time they walked in, Ashley was telling him, "Hey, we want that sign."
Yeah.
And then he said, it's a raffle. I just can't go get it. She said, well, they need to just auction that off and then you buy it. He said, that's not how this works. People's already bought tickets for this. They're not going to just change it now. She said, well, they need to, or we need to win that somehow. And then they wound up not winning it. I believe Curtis's name got drawn, but Ashley's name got drawn, but they were already left and the sign was already gone anyway at that point. Okay. So he come up to me and said, before he left, he said, hey, I don't know who made that sign, but I'm going to need one of them. So if you can talk to whoever that was and get that for me.
Well, Curtis.
So Stephanie, I need a sign whenever you get a chance. So text Dustin the information on it so I can get you paid for it.
Lindsay's got some stuff from her, if I'm not mistaken, before, and she does a great job on them. So
yeah, it's super nice.
Then Paige Delk at the Dairy Burger give us a $15 gift certificate. I'm not sure who won that, but can't go wrong with the Dairy Burger.
Can't beat the Dairy Burger for $15.
Nope.
And then Lisa J come in with some plundered jewelry.
That was nice of her. She, I give Lisa J a hard time. She's a friend of the show. Also, been friends with Lisa J for a long time, and she said DK loves his loves the Blunder jewelry, and I said, I love the way it looks on my wife after her wrist turns green. And she's like, well, that's your favorite jewelry. I said, yeah, I love Premier. She said, Plunder. I said, oh yeah, we'll bring it on. Then.
There it is.
Of course,
and then you come in there. You brought in 2 Tennessee Titans pictures, was it, and a UT signed football?
Yeah, it's just some extra stuff that I had, and I was trying to find just something that maybe a sports fan would have liked or something unique. And me and Waylon have collected stuff over the years. It just comes excess stuff of Delaney Walker and Kendall Wright on the Titan stuff. Then UT football was signed by several past players. I got an event. It's just some extra stuff that I had that I wanted somebody else to enjoy.
Yeah.
So.
And then Christy Carmack, formerly Christy Davis, come in there with a nice Mary Kay discount. Come in there for them people.
Yeah, and she came in last minute. It was really nice of her.
Super nice of her.
She messaged me on Facebook.
Well, her mother even come over to me afterwards. She said, if you'd have just let me know, honey, I'd have donated something too. I said, well, that's fantastic. I said, we'll have something else coming up later on, and we may hit you up at that point in time. So.
The name didn't even, she just Facebook messaged me, and the name didn't even ring a bell to start with. She just said, are you still taking donations for the event? I said, yes, ma'am. And I never got a response. I went, well, okay. And then I didn't know until we saw their face when they come up to us.
Yeah, who it actually was.
Of who it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was we really do appreciate all you guys that gave to our
event. And then we had a lot of other help coming into this. Scarlett Gentry and Vita Hicks and Gary Hicks and Jeff Gentry and all down there cooking for us and did a great job. Brought in shoulder and
boy, I tell you, that was some good food.
Oh yeah, shoulder and all kinds of stuff. Boy, it smelled good. It was wearing me out. I don't know that I could have eat. I didn't eat, but I don't know that I could have had
with your nerves.
With my nerves the way they were, but man, they sure smelled good. Kara got to eat. She said it was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't get to eat till late. I wished I'd ate a little earlier, but I ate late and tore it up.
Yeah,
it was of course, you can't go wrong with shoulder anyway.
Oh
but
yeah,
got to brag on Jeff and Gary. I mean, it was out there in the 95-degree weather.
They were roasting.
The boys out there roasting.
Yeah.
And Scarlett and Vita in there in that building. I'm sure that building, even though it had fans, it was still probably pretty toasty for them.
It probably wasn't just the place to be that day. But boy, they did a good job for us, and we sure appreciate that.
And then you had a guy we've talked about several times, Nick Grace, come down.
Took some great pictures, and some of the professional-looking pictures that you see are Nick Grace.
The ones that look like it come off a blurry iPhone in the 87 that I posted, that was from my cell phone, and then the ones Nick tagged us in the next day, which is just exceptional-looking quality. And Nick had some issues come up at home. His wife was out of town, so he had to get back to Nashville pretty soon, and he was trying to visit with the family in Hermitage Springs. So he came down, checked with us, and we were kind of still trying to get set up when he came in.
Yeah.
So...
But he took some time with us, before he had to run out. We conned him into coming over there and taking some pictures with us. He posed us, and we went over there and didn't have a clue what we were doing.
Oh, it was awful. We were mismatched because you were standing on the DK side and I was standing on Lucas' side. And Lucas was like, well, maybe we should switch to our names here.
Yeah.
So and like we was joking about earlier in the show, we just kind of stood there with looked like a gorilla or something. My arms just kind of drooped down to me. I was like.
I just wanted to stick my hands out to the side because that's the only place. I just wanted them away from me. I didn't know what else to do with them. I just wanted to get rid of them. I didn't know what to do with them.
It probably looked better in that first. You don't look as goofy as me in that first picture. But then I was like, "What do you want me to do? You want to look tough right here? Go to our I always call it the Slam basketball magazine. Everybody's always trying to look hard on the front of the magazine, like an Allen Iverson pose. So we just crossed our arms. And Nick's like, "Yeah, that looks good." And it actually ended up being not a bad picture.
Yeah, it's better because you. I don't know. I'm just awkward. I'm just awkward at that point in time, and
you can see the look on my face. It's hard for me to even keep a straight face when we're sitting there trying to act tough with our arms crossed.
Yeah, but, the two least tough people in Clay County were sitting there trying to mean mug the camera.
Yeah, it was a show, but man, Nick's quality was great.
Yeah,
and we do hope that we can do something with you in the future. Maybe it is if we still hadn't launched our website, which we are. Ridiculous for not having it.
Ridiculous for not having it. The other thing is we need to get Nick's permission to use those pictures. I was driving to work this morning thinking, there's our pictures for the website.
Yeah. And he said he messaged me there some, and we can. I'll show you what he said. But as far as right now, every time I've used them, like on our Instagram page, I'll just put @Nick. To make sure he gets his credit because God knows Nick's been screwed on pictures enough this year.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Yeah.
And thank you for Sherilyn Prophet. She gave us a nice little shout out on her Instagram page. Sherilyn's been a friend of the show for a while, since episode 1, and she just gave us a nice little thing. You know, she said, you guys are always shouting me out and whatnot and giving me love on the show. So she just basically put it on there that we run a pretty nice operation down there the other night.
I was talking to Sherilyn there for just a minute, and she was telling me how caught up she was, and she was telling me she just found out that I was going to be a daddy. I said, so what is that, episode number 4 you've made it to?
3. That was 3.
Number 3? She said, no, I'm farther than that. I don't know that you are, honey.
I talked to a guy today at the garage in Gainesboro. He was like, DK, son, been listening to the podcast. I said, oh, yeah, I love it. Awesome. I've listened to the first 3. I said, well, those suck.
Yeah. What? If you like them now, wait till they get good or get better anyway. Yeah. Randy Cherry come down there. Randy was sitting there at the event this weekend. He'd been telling me you was going to listen to him here and there. He binge listened to like 8 or 10 episodes since Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
Like since this past Saturday?
Since the show Saturday night. He's been binge listening to like 8 or 10 episodes.
I noticed that he liked the page.
Yeah. He liked it because he was listening, I guess. He didn't. He was just involved with it this weekend.
We've had 3 or 4 new likes on the page. So I guess it was people that come to the show. And Jeremy Hammer, a lot of our friends, I noticed that a lot of our friends were out of town. Yeah. I've had a lot of how did it go texts.
We for sure need to check the community events calendar was one of the things we learned from this show.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of stuff going on besides our podcast show.
Yeah, and we had a good turnout.
Yeah.
But I always strive for better.
Yeah.
And I'm always, whether it was back in the day when I would have a cookout, if I invited 30 people and 28 come, I was more worried about the 2 that didn't come.
Right.
So like after it was over, I got to thinking the next day, and I was like, you know what, so-and-so didn't come. Mm-hmm. And so-and-so said he was coming, and he did. You need to take more time to appreciate the people that did couple of hundreds. Would you think a couple of hundred?
That's what I've kind of been telling people is I think probably over the course of the day, we're somewhere between 150 and 200 people that rolled in.
I think so, and that's a fairly that's a respectable number, I feel.
Yeah, and I think any more people at once, and we would have run out of parking, would have been invading parking spaces for some of the surrounding.
Kind of the general theme was if a guy was playing, he might have 10 or 15 people watching him.
Yeah.
When that guy got done, they might stay for a couple more songs and head out.
Yeah.
But then a new wave of people was coming in for the next person. But, Jeremy Hammer, one of my good buddies we've mentioned on the show a couple times, he texts like, hey, how'd it go? Sorry I didn't get to make it. He's like, but I just listened to the last episode with that Mackey guy, and he's like, I can't wait to hear him on the show. He's like, you guys sound like you're going to have a great time with him. And Clint and Dusty, they both, obviously Dusty, one of our big listeners early on, and Clint, a friend of ours. I have to make Clint feel guilty. I have to be like, oh, you listen to the show? Put him on the spot, then he'll listen to a couple. But they both text, ask how it went, and I think they would both been there had they not been in other states.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you just appreciate who did come. I got to see Thad, and Thad was an old buddy of mine for a long time, and he came down with Mike.
I'm going to give Clint a little crap, too. He's been to every music festival in the United States, and he can't come to the one in Hermit Springs.
Clint Fraley,
out of town.
Clint Fraley drove to Woodstock. In New York. Then he drove by himself to Michigan a few years ago on his birthday. And you can't come to Hermit Springs 12. Yeah, he's like he was with his girlfriend in Illinois. Why don't you put your foot down and say, hey, we're not going to the family reunion, we're going to this podcast fundraiser. Nah, I'm just kidding, Clint. I'd had to go to. But he has literally been to every
music festival known to man.
Bonnaroo 25 years running, feels like. Oh man, but yeah, man, it was pretty cool, and we haven't even mentioned the ridiculousness that was Blake Allen.
Mr. America.
No way.
No way. Mr. America. Blake Allen comes rolling in. Can't miss him. He's in a blue jacket with all stars all over it, red pants, American flag boots, and an American flag bandana. He comes over there. We start commenting about it. Lo and behold, he's got on Uncle Sam socks too. Mr. America from head to toe.
I don't even know what to say about it, man. If anybody wants to see it, it's on our Twitter page. I said we didn't give away an award for best dressed, and sure as crap wouldn't have been Blake. God, that was.
You got to appreciate the dedication to it though, because it was 95 degrees and him running
Yeah.
around out there in a suit jacket.
Absolutely. I didn't get it because it was July 30th. It was definitely not July 4th. It was not Memorial Day. It was not Labor Day.
But Mr. America, when he comes to something, he comes in dressed in the American flag. You come draped or you don't come at all.
Exactly. I love Blake Allen. I just, I mean, you gotta love a guy. He's constantly listened to every show of ours. He's giving shout outs and yeah.
There's not a lot more confidence in the world than Blake Allen. Not a lot more confidence in the world than a man that shows up in pure American flag.
It's 4 days later and I'm still speechless. Or 3 days later, whatever. I mean, 3 days later, I'm still speechless. So Blake, we appreciate your dedication to our show.
It's fantastic. We appreciated it. It was a good time. That's the first one down, first one in the books.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
On to the next one, like Jay-Z said, the great philosopher Jay-Z. Hey, we got a guy that's I was told by James Franklin Peanut that we've got a guy that's upset that he was not on our show, that we picked Rob Edwards to come on our show over him. That's your boy John Denton.
My old boy John Denton, my coach.
I'd love to have John Denton on here.
Hey, he don't get to call in. He has to come sit in the basement with us whenever he comes.
That's right. John, I didn't know that you listen. I know I've sent the invites to Cherry Ann on Facebook. I don't have your contact information anymore. I love John Denton, man. I love to have him. He's a cut up.
Yeah. We're going to make you sit in this basement down here with hot and just a fan blowing. You're going to have to sit down here with us.
He'd fit right in, man.
Oh,
I have no doubt
I love
about that
guy.
He was a
I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to get on that running with him is what we need to be doing.
Yeah, well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
swim. If I could swim, I'd get in there with him for that.
I'm not going to swim with him or ride a bike, but I'd run with him. And I'll dang sure pull up a third chair and let him come in there and sit with us.
I might ride the bicycle with him. I probably couldn't run with him. I've seen him run down the side of the road. He don't look like he's running at my speed.
Yeah.
My speed's...
You know what my speed is? Peanut. Peanut.
Speed walking.
Peanut's the only person that's walking. It's like running in one ditch line. Then by the time he's 20 foot in front of him, he's in the other ditch line. He runs sideways. That's my speed. Mr. Endurance Peanut.
So John Denton, get down here, buddy. We're after you now.
I don't know that you listen. Like I didn't know that you listen to the show. Like I don't know that you do.
And you may not. You may just have heard that Rob was on it, but it doesn't matter now. You got to get on there.
Yeah. There's no excuse. You've said your piece to Peanut. Rob's got big shoes to fill now. But now this is the open invitation, and we're probably going to do this every week until you come. Now
there it is. You've been warned. You're coming on now.
I'm gonna talk about that time you made me run in basketball practice.
I'm gonna talk about that time I made you so mad you made the entire group run during basketball practice.
Yeah, I mean we both deserve to be running.
Oh yeah, I deserve to be running though. I had us running suicides, but it was for sure. We needed that. I was running my mouth.
I was not even doing anything in the wrong. I just said a word I shouldn't have said. Imagine that. But it was for a daggum good reason.
I thought mine was for a good reason. Playing it back now, it didn't make sense.
Mine still is.
Is it?
I told you what happened.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna ruin the story.
Not gonna ruin the stories.
But I told you off air what happened that one time, and it hurt. And I didn't mean to cuss, and he still made us run. But I enjoyed having John Denton as a coach.
There's a great story about. My buddy Cliff Smith and us playing against a future NBA player. And I won't go into that. Corey Brewer. We was playing against Corey Brewer. And good story about Cliff.
I don't know that stuff. I probably was already graduated.
I you'd graduated because Corey was a junior. So that made us seniors. So it was pretty funny.
I can imagine anything with Cliff Smith. I can just imagine that.
Oh, it was so good.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I'm good. Glad to think about that one. We'll get him back in here.
Kind of wrap it up. Just a final say for everybody that did come. I was even good. It was even good to see Mr. Connie Dillahade and Miss Kathy Bean down there, two of my favorite teachers. My boy Godwin was down there. Mackie made the trip. Your family.
Whole family's down there. My sisters showed up. Mom, Dad come down. Brother, niece, nephew. Everybody was there.
Yeah, I love your family, and it was great.
Your dad showed up.
Yeah, the Rick was there.
Rick was in.
It was crazy how much your mom and Aunt Wesley's mom looked alike.
Oh yeah,
Goodness
yeah,
gracious.
yeah. My Lee Johnson come up to me one time. He said, "I waved at your mom the other day, and she looked like she didn't know me." And then we walked into the kitchen. Lee Johnson's literally seen my mother 1,000 times at this point in time. He walked in and was staring at her. He goes, "Lucas, I didn't talk to your mom the other day. I talked to somebody else. It wasn't your mother."
Yeah. But no, it was glad. I was glad to see your family out, and just like so many of the people. Some of my in-laws came, some didn't, and so some of them are on the good list, some's on the bad list. Next time I see them, because hey, I tell you what, it was 150, 200 people.
Where was Newt? Where was Newt at?
I text Newt. I actually text Newt, and that's a good point. And Newt's not the most tech savvy cat, so I don't know what his text said, but he tried to reply to tell me he wasn't going to be there, I think, or he's going to be running late.
Oh, before we get off, we need to thank old Bradley Reed for showing up.
Man, no kidding.
Sit over there in the car with the head cut open, ear about to fall off, just had his brain put back in.
Yeah, and I told him that the other day, and
he's probably on episode 2 now. If he's listening to 1, he's probably on episode 2.
He said he's going to try to binge listen while he's off with his surgery because he's off for several weeks. But he texted me the night before. He's like, "When's this shindig start?" And I said 3 to 9. He goes, "Well, that gives something for the wife and kids to do tomorrow." And then I see them roll up, and I was like, "Well, he's just going to drop them off." And he'd sit there with his window about halfway down. He'd roll it all the way down because Brad's a rebel like that. Then he'd roll it back up when he'd get a little too loud. And I was like, "Dude, your head's split open. Like it's thank you so much."
Yeah.
And you know, me and Brad, I know y'all have always been real cool, and me and Brad's went through a lot over the years. I don't know that in the God how many ever years, 1998, we got appointed to be when we started junior pro basketball down here. It was the juniors and seniors matched up with the freshmen and sophomore, and I was already friends with Jeremy, and I wanted to be with Jeremy. And Mr. Cherry put me with Brad. And so any of our girlfriends over the years and wives that have been upset at me and Brad, blame it on Donnie Cherry. Because he's the one
got it started.
He's the one that put us together.
Yeah.
I learned all that knowledge, and you know what? And this is honest to God truth. Since 1998, I don't think me and him's had a crossword ever. I can't remember one time we've ever.
I've only ever seen him have a crossword with like two people the whole time I've ever knew him.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get along with Brad Craig,
then you need to go hide under a rock because you can't get along with anybody.
Yeah, you need to be on a couch with a stress ball talking about your problems because you're messed up in the head.
That's right.
You can't beat Brad Craig. So, and I said you kind of placed the bar a little high. He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Where's your brother at?" I said, "Where's your brother?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I texted your brother. I couldn't even get a text back." I said, "You had your brain operated on 4 days ago, and you're sitting here in the parking lot."
What?
I said, "Where's so and so?"
What's everybody else's excuse? Where are they at?
Yeah. I said, "Where's this guy? Where's that guy?" So
where's AJ?
And I tell you who else it was good to see after Brad. Brad sit there for a little while. The BOONE.
The big Boone coming in there, officially a civilian again. Thank goodness he made it out. I can't tell you how proud I am that he made it out and that he served for his country, and I'm glad he's home.
He did, man.
Although he's not all the way back home, but he's close. He's a lot closer than he was. He ain't North Carolina no more.
That's right. And he's not overseas in a country I can't pronounce.
I'm so glad for him to be home. Glad he's back.
Tried to give him a little shout out on stage the other night. I know he didn't want it. Actually, he told me.
Don't do it.
He's like, don't mention. I was like, I told him days in advance, like, if you come, I was like, I'd like to do a little something for you where you served 5 years in the Marines because he did several tours. And he said, nah, it's not my kind of style. So I definitely said, thank you, Chris Boone, for
I was. He's a humble guy, and
he's a low key guy.
Super low key. We're standing over there. Somebody says, "What you been up to, Chris? I ain't seen you in probably 6-7 years." He said, "Not much. I ain't done much anything." I was sitting there and I started laughing. I said, he ain't done much. He spent 5 years in the Marines, been overseas 2 or 3 times, got about 3 kids now that he didn't have last time you seen him. So no, he ain't did much. That guy looked at Chris and goes, "Is that true?" He goes, Yeah, all that's true. He said, "That's a little bit more than not much, isn't it?"
But the thing about Chris is we can have conversation on the phone like when he lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and he'd call. Our conversation went like this. "What about it?"
Right.
I say, "What about Boone?" He wouldn't say, "Well, hey, I just been blowing some stuff up today," or
"What you been doing?"
Or "I got these kids going on." He goes, Have you ever listened to Blackberry Smoke yet? I've been on the Blackberry Smoke. What about Whiskey Myers? If we're going, and we would literally talk music or whatever. Then like the last 5 minutes, like, how's the kids? How's Waylon? That's just boon for you, man. So it's cool to have him home. And
glad he's back.
And then hey, Elliot Brown brought his wife and kids down. It was cool to see him.
I thought I seen Elliot over there letting that little boy swing off the monkey bars.
Little boy's wild.
He's just
I
wild.
don't remember Elliot being that wild when we were little.
Oh, I'm sure he was though.
Well, either that or he gets it from his mama.
Either that or Elliot's old lady was swinging for monkey bars.
Leighton cracks me up, but yeah, I just talked to Elliot on a few minutes before I came down. I didn't get to talk to him very long the other night, so I wanted to, just kind of chat it up with him for a few minutes. Just apologize for not getting to speak to him long. But yeah, it was cool, man. It was nice support for the community, and hope we can repeat it the next time.
Yep, hope we get it done out there. And we got a couple other things we're thinking about. It's getting kind of late in the year, so I don't know if we'll do anything else the end of the year. And the only reason I say it's getting late in the year is because I'm 15 weeks away from having a baby on the ground, so there's a lot to do left up here. I was just thinking this room that we were podcasting out of, I got to turn that into a baby's room here between now and November, and hopefully November. Hopefully I've still got to November.
Oh man, I'm sure you do.
Hopefully it goes that long. So we got a lot going on here, and then
you better build this podcast room too.
Well,
priorities, son.
Yeah, priorities. Right. That's exactly right. I got to finish this podcast room at some point in time. That might have to wait.
I forgot what our banner looks like until Saturday.
That's right. We got it out there. I need to get it up somewhere, and if we're going to be having guests in here, I do need to get it finished up.
Because this is all right for us, but we get John Denton down here.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, guys, we appreciate y'all listening. We're not going to cover anything else today because we just wanted to dedicate this one to the Saturday event. We appreciate everybody coming out. Appreciate everybody supporting us. We'll come back to you with new content next week.
Yeah, we'll definitely come. Titans training camp started on Friday.
Yeah.
I went to a couple of those. So next week we'll be more prepared to talk to you about the first week and a half Titans practice as that gears up. And
we'll try to get a guest lined up. Maybe we can get Amber back on here sometime soon. Get her rescheduled.
Text her today.
Yeah.
I said, hey, how do you feel about rescheduling for tonight? She goes, I actually would love to. She said, but I can't. She said, because I've been invited to a private Florida Georgia Line party.
Sounds like somebody's putting us off.
Well, if you go to Florida Georgia Line coming in with us, I have a feeling you're lying. But I did make a couple more contacts already at this camp, and the Titans brass may say that they won't give us a player, but that don't mean I can't get it on my own.
Yeah. Not only that, we may have to drag that John Denton down here now. I'm kind of excited about hearing John's wanting to come on.
You're fixing to do some push-ups.
I'm going to get down here and do a push-up right here. I might go run a lap around here in just a minute.
Hey, we got bigger and better things coming. Thank you guys for hanging in with us for the first, what week is this? 15?
16.
This is 16.
This is number 16.
Come. We're almost legal.
4 months. Hello.
We're almost legal.
That's right.
A couple more weeks we'll be legal.
A couple more weeks.
Okay, guys. Well, like I said, thank you for everything. I know this has kind of been just like it's more of a recap, kind of a boring show.
But we just wanted to make sure everything got its due and tell everybody we appreciated them coming out. And, give everybody kind of that didn't get to show up, kind of let everybody know how it went and everything. So
I was going to put it on. Me and Lucas were talking beforehand. I was like, we hadn't really put anything on Facebook thanking everyone. And I didn't want to. I put our pictures on there, and I wanted to discuss it. And there's just so many people to thank that we just thought this would be the right platform to go about it.
Yeah.
And
and I've got some pictures, and Kara's got me some more, and I'll probably go ahead and blast them out. And
you definitely should.
now that I've got this down on the ground or in the books here, we'll go ahead and blast that out. That way everybody can see them.
We were able to raise a pretty good amount of money
pretty
too,
good amount.
And we'll release that as time comes on.
Mm-hmm. So. That was this week. We appreciate y'all listening. Come back and see us.
All right. See you next week.